Hi, I'm Kep Kepner, CPA here in Dallas. I'm going to talk to you about some of the tax issues that are going to be a problem for small businesses in the upcoming year. The first of those, of course, we've all heard it, it's about Obamacare. Maybe you haven't read about it, but there's a deli that's been in Nashville for like 90 years, and they're closing down in part because of Obamacare. If you have 50 employees, you've got to offer health insurance. And it's really not that simple. You have to know what an employee is, what a full-time is, understand how you calculate a full-time equivalent. If you've already had 50 employees and you haven't offered health insurance, you've got to know when to report and what to report so you can minimize some of the penalties. So the reality is, if you have 50 employees and you're not offering health insurance and you don't do the right reporting, you could be looking at a $100,000 penalty. And that's not anything you can deduct. You don't get to deduct penalties that you pay. So the reality is you could have $100,000 come right out of your bank account and right out of your bottom line, and you're still going to pay tax on that $100,000 because it's not tax deductible. Obviously, there's a lot of rhetoric in this world about Obamacare, how good or how bad it is and how many people have used it and how many have not. It's an absolute challenge for any business, and it's difficult and it's time consuming. The work necessary to keep track of your employees and how to compute whether they're full-time or part-time or full-time equivalent, all of this takes a lot of time and costs the business owner money. So it is a problem, and it's going to continue to be a problem. The second thing are the tax extenders. Now, you've heard me talk about the fact that Congress has a tax act that they seldom pass until the end of the year. So how are you as a business owner supposed to make a decision? It's very hard. It could be that you can write off 100% of the cost of equipment, either up to $25,000 or up to $500,000. Do you think that makes a little bit of difference in trying to run your business? Of course it does. There are a lot of these tax benefits that are located in this particular tax bill. Now, my video person tells me I should never date my videos so that I can play them all the time, but the reality is we're at tax time as far as being and knowing what you can do to reduce your taxes. So the reality is we think that maybe next Tuesday, the 23rd of December, Congress may pass this tax act. And if they do, well, that gives you, the business owner, only about a week to make some really important decisions. So the reality is, even with that, you should never buy anything. You should never spend any money unless you need to spend it. The way I look at tax deductions is that it's a discount. It is a discount that I'm either going to get this year or next year. If I need to buy a truck for my business and it's going to cost me $20,000 for this vehicle, and I'm not going to need it until next June, I'm not going to buy it in December. I'm going to wait until June when I need it, regardless of the fact that I can deduct it in December. But I'm also going to consider what's going to happen to my profit. If my profit is really high this year, then I want to take all the deductions this year. If it's going to be lower next year because of expansion or other reasons, then I'm going to not want to take it next year. So the fact that Congress doesn't act on this till the end of the year is going to put a burden on you and I. The third thing that nobody seems to talk about is identity theft. Everybody talks about personal identity theft, stealing credit cards and so forth. But let me assure you, your business uses credit cards. I'll bet or you receive them. So the reality is you got to be concerned about that. Okay? You also have to be concerned about somebody from the outside hacking into your business and taking valuable customer information. I'm right now looking into insurance to cover me from people who might hack into my system. We've got all kinds of levels of security. We feel very good about all of our backup and about our security. But at the same time, it's a tough world out there. People are hacking into businesses. You saw what happened to Target, some of the other large companies. And the problem is that sometimes the victim in all of that is not identified for maybe a year or so later. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight. So you might be hacked into and you might have identity stolen for either your business or one of your customers, and you might not know about it for a year. And think of the damage that can be done in a year. So that's going to be a problem that you're facing and I'm facing, and we need to be upfront talking about it. If I can help you, let me know. Thanks.